How do you know that your culture that you envision is being properly embodied by your organization? Chances are you don't know, especially depending on the size of the organization. For myself, as someone who's been working more on executive coaching with senior vice presidents and directors, these organizations, they're very large. And it's very easy for them to envision something without it actually being embodied on the level that we need to see it. Here's what I mean. If you really want to know the culture of your organization, by the way, culture is not your system of beliefs. That's called your values. Culture is the way we operate. At Kingdom Operatives, we want to help you operate with a contagious confidence. We want your organization to know exactly who they are, exactly why they are, and exactly where they're meant to be to release the solutions that they carry into a world that is hurting, into systems that are broken. If you want to know your culture and you want to see how do people operate, what is the way that they live, the way that they move, the way that they think, you have to go deep. I'm not talking about deep communication. I'm talking about the deepest places of your organization. So as a former Army captain, company commander, and Black Hawk helicopter pilot, I was working with organizations who would be around 50 plus people, right? It was very easy for me to think, hey, this is our culture. I said it. I get to forget it, right? Ever hear about that? Like the Traeger grills. I don't know if you ever used a Traeger grill before, smokers. Set it and forget it. Culture is not that way. Culture needs consistent modeling by the leaders of what we want to measure in the future. We cannot measure before we model. Remember this, because as a leader, you have to be the one to know your culture. You have to be the one to get it right. And it starts by your own personal example, what you're modeling. But then you got to go deep to the depths of your organization, to the newest people, and see, hey, what's it like to join this team? See, if we ask our managers, if we ask our supervisors these questions, they're going to give you managing type of answers, right? They're going to say, hey, you know what I think our culture is, and they're going to say exactly what you want to hear because that's what they hope as well. But the truth is, all of us have to go deep. We talk to the brand new person. I call this the first weeker, right? This is their first week on the team. And in the first week on the team, they have to start to learn, how do I orient myself to be safe here? How do I orient myself for progression in the future? How do I make myself look good? And how do I join this team? How do I gain acceptance and belonging? Right? These are really key aspects. I mean, think about it. When you started your first job, or when you started the job you currently have now, when it was your first week, do you remember how quickly you were just on, right? It's like your spidey senses are tingling. You're looking everywhere, trying to figure out, okay, this is where this person stands. This is who this person is. Okay, I'm starting to see the hierarchy of this organization. All right, this seems like someone that everyone knows. This seems like someone who gets results. And you quickly start to learn how to shift into the culture, right? Because the culture is there already. So you're saying, well, what does this look like for me? So that's what we got to do. We got to go down to our first weekers, the people who are brand new. I mean, honestly, what we should probably look at, and what I'm advising some people to do, is you say, hey, this person's brand new. On the fifth day they're here, I want to meet with them. And it's not because I don't trust you. It's because I really want to make sure that they know what we're all about. I really want to make sure they know they can approach me. And I get it. Some of us, we have very mission-oriented organizations, and you might be one of these senior vice presidents that I'm talking to and working with who have hundreds of people on their team. Yeah, there's no way you're going to get to know everyone like that. But can you teach what I'm sharing with you now to the level that needs this? Because the only way you're going to know how you really operate is if you go down to the depths of your organization. If you go down to that first weeker or that first month person, or the person who's starting to progress and you're saying, hey, why do you want to progress here? What is it you're seeing? See, I learned in the Army that we could have our own even mission for that time frame, right? Like, hey, this is our mission. This is what we're working on right now. And in the military, it's not like a mission statement where it's going to last for years. I mean, we're talking about maybe a 1-day mission, right? A couple hours of a mission and then it's complete. And you could go up to someone and you could do what we call a spot check, all right? And I would really recommend this for you as we wrap up. Spot checks. You say, hey, so what are you guys working on lately? And you say, and by the way, you don't do this with a confrontational tone. Instead, it's curiosity. Hey, what are you guys working on lately? Hey, I was curious. What's the mission that you guys are really working towards right now? And the person in the military, they're like, sir, right? And they get nervous for a moment, and then they give you the answer. And you might be like, man, there's a disconnect because that's not the mission. And you don't need to tell them that. You just say, okay, thanks for sharing it with me. It was great meeting you. And I call this is the compassionate candor part, where we're going to tell people the truth, but we're going to do it in compassion. If someone seems like they're just really not in alignment with what you want to see, man, let them know. Hey, I notice you keep coming in a little bit late, and that's just not the way we do things here. And I want you to succeed here, so I just thought I needed to let you know that. That's compassionate candor. That is one of the values of Kingdom Operatives, and it's something we hope becomes a value of yours. Candor alone is not enough. We must move with compassion. So I want to bring it all together, okay? So how do you check your culture? You go deep. What do you do when you go deep? You ask the right questions. What do you do once you get the answers for the questions you've asked? Man, you gather up the data. And you start to see, is there a trend here? Was that one person just unaware, or was this whole team unaware, right? Is there a certain organization that's better at getting what I want to see embodied into their organization? If so, what are you guys doing? How's that working for you? And then you start to share and collaborate, right? And you say, hey, this team absolutely knows how to embody the culture of our organization. The way they are operating is in alignment with what we envision. Could you guys share that with them, what you're doing? See, it's all to make each other better. If we're really a team, if we really want to equip leaders to build transformational cultures, then that means we have to recognize that every person has unique value, has a unique lens in the way they see your organization and the way they see the world. And all we need to do is say, hey, the lens that you're using right now, can we leverage that? Can you tell us what you're seeing? Hey, this person has a logistical lens. They're able to see all the little in-between material items and details and equipment moving. Hey, can you come share with us your lens and how you see logistics? See, when we do this, we realize, man, I don't need to be all things to all people. I don't need to have all the answers. But I can start to, as a leader, start to leverage the lens of others to help level up this organization. That's how we do it. And it's going to take time, and this should be a consistent rhythm. We should always be looking for ways that we can go deeper into our organization, ask a couple of these questions, and then start to gather that data, bring it back into your leadership, circles and your masterminds and all these different pieces and say, hey, here's what I'm learning. What can we do to make that better? And that is how you begin to accelerate your team to take the next hill. Continue mission.